And we are back again. The friendly neighborhood film watchers, Frankly Football in the building. I'm Brandon. I got my man 100 Grand with me and set it off. Chris, he in here.
What's up, man? We about to set the world on fire. They say these dudes did it 2 weeks in a row.
Man, look. Speaking of setting the world on fire, Chris, you know, in one of my favorite movies, The Dark Knight, you know, Alfred said, some men that don't make sense. Some men just want to watch the world burn, right? So I'm sitting here working, right? I'm typing on my computer. I'm typing on my desk. I'm sitting here looking at my deck plaque, you know, and then I get an alert, a little ping on my phone, and I see that Randy Gregory has just signed with the Dallas Cowboys. You know, hip hip hooray, right? As you would think.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. But fast forward less than an hour, and you know, I get another ping on my phone. You know, Twitter is running amok, having a kerfuffle, if you will.
You know? a major meltdown.
Yeah, you know, a brouhaha.
Yes, yes.
You know,
okay.
And we see that Randy Gregory hit a U-turn and is now signing with the Denver Broncos. That makes me feel some type of way, Chris.
Okay.
How did you feel when you saw that? Because I went live not too long ago and it gave my immediate thoughts. You know, let loose those feelings. How did you feel when you saw that, Chris?
Well, I kind of want to go even further back because me and you know, like you said, we always talk and we hit each other with quick texts and get our thoughts together. And I had a thought in my mind, and I just want to give a shout out for one of my Twitter friends, Classy Diva, and she said, "This is a roller coaster. Free agency and Dallas Cowboy free agency is a roller coaster. So let's push it back." We turned around early last week, and we found out that Amari Cooper had been traded.
Okay,
and me and you for nothing, for nothing, and it infuriated me because it was to the point we knew it was coming. We never thought it should have happened because of what you got for him. You got him for a first-round draft pick. You gave away a first-round draft pick, and the compensation in return was absolutely terrible, in my opinion. You gave him away for a fifth-round pick. So, in the mortal words of a great African-American movie, New Jack City, this was personal. This was never about business, as Nino Brown would say.
Now I'm on the opposite side of the hall with you on that one, Chris.
Okay, give it to me.
So Amari Cooper was, for all intents and purposes, your first round pick in the I believe it should, you gave away your 2019 first round
pick. Yeah. Right.
He was, for all intents and purposes, your first round pick that year.
Okay.
He came in at 24 years old.
Same
age as Dak Prescott. Amari Cooper's just a couple months older, by the way.
Okay.
So if you think about it, 19, 20, 21.
That's 3 years.
That's 3 years. You got just about a rookie contract out of him. I mean, and if you include, you know, part of 2018, you got half of 2018 out of him as well. So you got 4, you know, give or take 4 years out of Amari Cooper. That's a rookie contract for all intents and purposes.
Not for a first rounder, because the first rounder
we didn't pick up Layton's fifth year option.
But okay, so are we go? This is the beauty of Franklin football. So are we comparing the production of Leighton Vander Esch with
I'm just talking about contracts.
Right. Okay.
It's a 4-year deal.
Okay. Okay, so if it's a 4-year deal with a 5th-year option, Amari Cooper, even if you were going to get rid of a first-round pick, right, and not pick up his 5th-year option, you would get more than a fifth for it. You'd get more than a fifth and a swap of a 6th-round draft pick. But here's the other part about it. Yeah, you would get more. And Skywalker still did a beautiful layout of the company. Oh, yes. Amazing man. Much love to Steele. Much love. But it was to the point he did a layout of 3 to 4 guys who got they got great compensation for it. Stephon Diggs, Quintaris Jones, because I ain't disrespectful like y'all call that man, that man name is Quintaris, Matavius Bryant, and Odell Beckham. People got better compensation when they traded their number one first round draft pick wide receiver. Steven didn't. Okay. So goes back to our last week. This is an indictment on the front office about doing this to their guys. When they want to get rid of them, they smear them or try to turn the Cowboy Nation against them when they go to try to get rid of them. So the deal with Amari for me was he turned around he's working inside of an antiquated system, which we've talked about before. We're great at getting yards, but we're not about scoring points or featuring guys, or the system dictates what it is. It's just funny to me that the system dictates in Dallas that your number one receiver doesn't get the ball. But the system doesn't dictate for other teams, aka the Rams with Cooper Kupp, aka the Green Bay Packers with Devontae Smith. AJ Brown and the Titans. There is not an issue about the targets with Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper got one less target in 2021 than he got in 2020.
You're right.
So this system is flawed. Okay,
yes,
this system is flawed. 4 games, four times in a 16-game season that guy got targeted more than 8 times. That's unacceptable, especially when he is a true number one. So,
but wait,
and we try to get. Go ahead.
For all intents and purposes, CeeDee Lamb was your number one guy in 2022.
2021, you mean?
I mean 2021. I apologize.
Right.
He's just going to be, getting, I guess, highlighted more because Amari Cooper isn't there to draw that attention. Cedric Wilson isn't there to draw that attention anymore. I think that the real prize of that Amari Cooper trade was getting that $20 million off of your books. The 5th round pick was just, icing on the cake. That was just the sprinkles on the ice cream. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. You wanted to get him off the books. I get that. Okay. But the thing about it is that there was never really a point where, or you haven't seen it. I think what we're doing is we're holding on to potential and hope with CeeDee Lamb, who I think is an excellent talent, who I think is going to be an amazing ball player. But I'm also looking at, if I'm a DC right now and I look at the Dallas Cowboys, I only have to shut down CeeDee Lamb, even though we turned around in free agency, made a beautiful move after releasing Amari Cooper to get Michael Gallup for $6 million a year. I mean, a great deal. Here's the problem. Michael Gallup's not coming back to November.
Yeah.
He didn't hurt his leg like in October. He hurt his leg in the playoff game.
Yeah. And he didn't get surgery until the week before the Super Bowl.
So all intents and purposes, unless he's gone to Wakanda, got some vibranium, right? Or got some adamantium from Adrian Peterson, Wolverine, right? He ain't coming back until October, November timeframe. So now you look into your wide receiver room, you got CeeDee Lamb, Simi Fehoko, right?
But here's the thing though. I hate using this word, right? I don't like to use the S word. Guys question Simi's toughness. That's the way that I'm gonna work.
Simi's toughness or Amari's toughness?
Simi. I'm talking about who we got right now. We don't have him.
Okay.
Simi's toughness. So there's the thing. I'm not gonna use the S word. Because the word, the people that I've heard this from, that are, I got a source, man. I got a source.
Okay, maybe you that guy. But here's my question. No matter if they think he's drugstore cotton, right? And that thing right there, drugstore cotton, hey man. So if they think he's drugstore cotton, Carnival cotton candy, okay? Then that's an even bigger indictment and problem for me for giving up my number one guy for a fifth.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I should have got a second, third, so I could make some different moves and make some different stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's neither here nor there. Go ahead.
I just think that a large part of the trade was Cleveland taking on his full contract. That was a large part of it.
I mean, I think you got him to the point where you got his guaranteed money off the books, which was cool. You wanted to get the second part of his contract off. I just don't think this was the year to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I would have kept him,
mm-hmm.
drafted another young guy, then put him in the fold, right?
Yeah.
With CD, another young wide receiver, and a fully 1 year rehabbed Michael Gallup, and then let him go. See what I'm saying? Because now if I walked him out, that's what I would have done. But hey, I ain't running the books.
Absolutely.
But the one caveat they did this week, they did a great deal with Michael Gallup, outstanding deal. We're going to see the benefit of that in 2023.
Yes.
Because if we make a run, we make the playoffs, he's still going to just be getting back into football shape. Mm-hmm. October, November, December will be a year removed. The following year, boom, that's when he'll really be back to 100% Michael Gallup. But the one deal that I love that they did, two deals that they did that they got signed. The Tank Lawrence deal.
Yes.
The Tank Lawrence deal is amazing.
Now,
absolutely amazing.
One thing that I don't want people to forget about Demarcus Lawrence, regardless of his play in the future, he did the Dallas Cowboys a favor. He did the Dallas Cowboys a favor by taking this pay cut. He likely had a conversation with his wife, with his family, with his agent, and he saved them $13 million, and I think it was $13.5 million a year, which was allocated for one particular guy. But hey, didn't work
we gonna get into that. Yeah, we get that, right?
Yeah. But he did not have to do that. He didn't have to. So regardless of how he plays, and I know that people are going to crucify him if he doesn't ball out, but never question this guy's loyalty to the team.
I don't think you can question either one of those things that you kind of brought up. That those people who question his loyalty or his play, that's that 80% of Dallas Cowboy fans who just are, mad and don't really understand the game. What Demarcus Lawrence brings to this football team is amazing. And for him to have played those couple of years with the bad back and things of that nature to get him to this point, it's great. Had a freak accident, broke his foot, second time in his career, kind of crazy. But when he came back on the field, you saw a difference. You saw the tide raising all boats type situation with that defense. And it's kind of hard to see that when you can put Micah Parsons, the ultimate defensive weapon, and move him around. When you got a Demarcus Lawrence on that left end, being the guy he is, it freed up everybody else to move around and do certain things. I think the biggest thing that hurt me was once he did get back, we did not get the absolute explosion we expected for the next guy we're going to talk about in this cycle. But I don't want to talk about it yet because I want to talk about the one piece we have been missing from this defense since the great, and I'm saying without question, the great Darren Woodson left, is on the top of the roof. Shout out to my man Foots the King, free safety, and Malik Hooker.
Yeah, I'm
got Malik Hooker.
That deal. Very happy about that deal.
Man,
I thought you was gonna talk about Jeff Heath for a second.
Listen, man. When I talk about the GOAT, I get a GOAT is love. Okay, the 25 snap GOAT is Jeff Heath. I will never sway from that.
Yes, sir.
Snap 26, he's about as good as me. But snap 25, 1 to 25, he the man. Snap 26, he got a problem.
I hear you.
But to get Malik Hooker back on a 2-year deal.
2 years,
beautiful
$8 million.
$8 million. that was the deal that I think really set a lot of people's life into helped them out a lot. I think Izzy Okwamu, Israel Okwamu, the free safety that they got last year out of was it Kentucky? Yeah, it was
no, not Kentucky.
South Carolina.
Yes.
Out of South Carolina. I think that helped him. That gives him another year to develop. But it also leaves them room to be able to draft another developmental safety in that position. But it also put them in position to get the guy who I think tomorrow or next couple of days they're going to come out and say they signed, and I'm praying they sign him, is J-Ron Curse. They get J-Ron Curse on books. I think that's great. But starting what you saw with Randy Gregory.
So here's the thing about Randy, and
okay.
we kind of touched on it a little bit. At the beginning of the show, I think it was underhanded that the Cowboys inserted the language at the last minute. We talked about this before we recorded, that this particular language, the drug clause, is in every single player's contract on the team, including Randy Gregory's previous contracts with the Cowboys. That's okay. That's great.
Yeah, but it's not just included in contracts, Brandon. It's in the CBA. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. So regardless if you put it inside the contract, it's still inside the CBA. But go ahead, my brother.
Okay, but the difference is when they were talking over it, when they verbally went through the contracts and the conditions within it, they didn't go over that. And when the physical copy of it was faxed or emailed or smoke signaled over to Randy and his agent, and that particular page or pages was included, that can take a guy by surprise. And Randy can, reach out to his agent, and he'll be like, that, and whether it's included fully in across the board, all 53, well, is it 54 now, guys, or 55? I'm not sure how many guys are on the team now. I think it's 55. But all 55 guys, that's cool, but the team should have been transparent with that instead of Steven, I guess, trying to, flex his muscle a little bit and burning the bridge.
I'm gonna put it to you like this: if you ain't got a problem with something, it don't matter what they do for you. I'll put you like this: everybody that's gonna watch this video has either bought a car, bought some furniture, or as you did here recently, bought a house. Let me ask you a question. Did you read every clause that was inside that house?
A lawyer, man.
You had a lawyer. Oh, here we go. You had a lawyer, right? So if it was anything that you had any reservations behind, you would ask your lawyer, right? So let's put all of this on Randy Gregory's lawyer. Not putting this on, and we just talked about it. I'm not a huge fan of Stephen Jones, but the same clause that was put inside of all 53 players on that roster and across the NFL and is included in the CBA is that if you ride a motorcycle, aka Kellen Winslow breaking your leg, you ski and you break your leg, snowboard, jet ski, all that stuff inside the contract, you forfeit the money inside your contract, which is guaranteed. Okay. If you get suspended for using any illegal substance, PEDs, any kind of sports enhancement, any kind, enhancement, you get suspended, and you forfeit guaranteed money. If you smoke or get caught with any illegal drug inside your system over the legal limit of the NFL, you get suspended and forfeit your guaranteed money. Now, at first, when you sent this to me and you was talking, I was pissed, but I wanted to get the full spectrum of everybody in it.
I had to
Jeff
take
Kavanaugh.
I had to take a nap.
Yeah, I mean, some people logged off Twitter, but I waited and give a shout out to the great Mike Fisher, man. And anybody check him out, man. He always comes with, great information. Mike Fisher went across the paperwork. He went across the contract that Randy Gregory and that he rejected, and he read the information, and all that stuff was right there inside the contract for him to know. Randy had a question. He asked his lawyer, and his lawyer turned into Elmer Fudd or Porky Pig, like he didn't know what the hell was going on. So then Randy, in haste, as we do as young people, we get offended. Well, who the hell gonna say something about me with what I did in my past and hold this against me? No, Randy, this was a standardized contract. It'd been different had Denver paid him more money and he left, then we wouldn't have a problem with it. We find out that he reads something inside his contract that his lawyer doesn't tell him is in everybody's contract. We also got to go to the backstory of the fact of the matter that his lawyer is based out of Denver as well. So I'm not trying to, put the aluminum foil hat on my head and sit downstairs in my mama's basement eating Hot Pockets. But what I end up sitting here saying is right now, Randy Gregory got hoodwinked by his lawyer and didn't know everything that was going on. And we've all done it. Some of us have bought a car for 27% interest and then realized, the hell did I buy? So Randy Gregory gets to go to Denver, get the same amount of money, deal with paying state taxes, and fight in a much tougher division.
Very high state taxes, by the way. Colorado has incredibly high state taxes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it is what it is. And so he's going to go fight with that. I wish him nothing but the best. Mm-hmm. My problem is, as a Cowboy fan, we've watched this and waited for this return on this 7-year investment to finally come to fruition. I think for us as Cowboys Nation, we're more pissed about the fact that we dealt with the 1 year with not playing a snap for us. Matter of fact, not 1, but 2 years. A year where he turned around and came back late after being reinstated and not being played by the staff. And we felt like, finally, we're going to get all the return on this investment because we stood by him. And him in his emotions and in his feelings, he decides to leave and go elsewhere. I want nothing but peace, blessing, and prosperity for Randy Gregory, but I think his lawyer did him in. And if anybody want to refute what I'm saying here on Frankly Football, because we try to be 100% transparent, we're gonna get angles from all sides. We're not gonna just give you something off the cuff of some BS. Go check out Mike Fisher's report on it. It's straight up there, and it'll tell you Randy's lawyer screwed him in this situation.
Now, here's what I think. I think that Randy Gregory could have been an advocate for how the team nurtures and treats their guys, the guys that they draft, the guys that, they stand up for, they, hold up the white picket sign for, because of his story. Randy Gregory has an amazing story. I'm not going to say that he was Aaron Donald or TJ Watt or anyone else. Randy Gregory was not those guys. Granted, he was amazing. You get him for, a full 16 on the year, and he can wake up out of the bed and get you, 10 sacks on the year.
Right.
But I think that they turned what could have been an amazingly positive PR situation into a negative one. Because players look at, what's going on with other teams. I'm only going to use Von Miller as an example because he's the biggest name that is possibly interested in joining the Cowboys right now. And if he sees, man, this is how they treated a guy that went through all of this, got ran through the ringer, and finally got it turned around right, and at the 11th hour, it fell apart due to that. So I think that if Randy could have been the guy that spoke to any potential free agents, whether they've been troubled on that, and said that, the Joneses, the front office, they'll look out for you. That could have been an amazing situation because he would have been the guy to do it. Now, anybody that can look at this situation and be like, man, they were looking to use that situation against him, whether they know what happened or not. They will look at that and say, okay, they were standing by him not to be genuinely concerned about him, but to hold it over his head come contract time. Whether they genuinely accept or believe what Mike Fisher and you referred me to or not.
But Brandon, you gotta look at what his deal said. His deal that he signed with Denver was the exact same deal in Dallas. So they didn't hold his pass against him. It was 5 years, $70 million, $28 million guaranteed. If Denver would have signed him for 5 years and $85 million, $35 million guaranteed, I could say that. But I can't say that when he signed the exact same deal in a different location. And the actions of the Cowboys could show to any free agent. The Cowboys have a long history of standing behind trouble guys. Okay, they've had guys. My man Josh Brent, correct? The brother that ended up having the accident and killing the guy. They stood behind him after him. Right. They've had the great Nate Newton. He's got a story to tell. Hollywood Henderson. He's got a story to tell. They have a history of helping troubled guys and taking care of them. Randy Gregory has given you 16 sacks in 7 years. 16 and a half sacks in 7 years. And they kept him on the payroll and they kept getting the money forwarded to him. They showed their loyalty to him. If he got offended behind a sheet of paper or a stipulation inside his contract that he signed before and is inside the collective bargaining agreement that he checked off on to play in the league, that ain't a Stephen Jones issue. That ain't a Dallas Cowboy issue. That's a Randy Gregory and his lawyer issue. So he can stand, he can, if someone would come and say, hey, Randy, how did the Cowboys treat you over your 7 years? Well, shoot, they did front me money when I wasn't even playing. I did get hurt and they still stood behind me. They did bring me a 5-year, $70 million deal. I just chose to go over here. I think in this situation, and we're gonna have this be some of the water that we go underneath the bridge, and we'll continue to watch to see how he does in Denver, and that'll be great. But for me, I think if anybody who's doing their due diligence, especially for an attorney, a lawyer or a representative for a football player, I think they'll look back at the situation and say, okay, he made the decision to go over there. He didn't know what he was doing, and his lawyer made a mistake. But I'm not looking for Von Miller to come in and help me. Everybody's enamored by Von Miller because the pedigree Von Miller has. And let's be. I mean, he's a big name. He's 32 years old. Yeah. The guy who I want to look at, man. The next is two guys I want to see signed, man. In the next coming days. First and foremost, I want Jaron Kearse signed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need Jaron Kearse signed so I can continue to unleash Michael Parsons on the NFL. The less Michael Parsons has to think and just react in the next year, 2 years, is better for him because he can just be moved around and do certain things. Learning all the different nuances and reads and things of that nature on the Sean Lee level, I think Jabril Cox can be that guy because of his athleticism. It's only two guys, man, who I want to see signed in the next couple of days. I want to see Jaron Kearse signed and one of these other two guys. Either the only other guy I'm thinking about, everybody wants Bobby Wagner, and Bobby Wagner would be great. 32 years old, 8-time Pro Bowler, a defensive. Huh?
I know who you're gonna say next.
Who am I gonna say next, my friend?
Miles Jack.
Miles Jack would be like my bonus of all bonuses, but because I lost Randy Gregory, I look at it this way. In my linebacking core is only two guys I'm looking at: Bobby Wagner and Miles Jack.
Yep.
Those two. Yep. But for my defensive end, I want Zadarius Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love it. But I can't pay him what he was earning in Green Bay. Can't pay him $25 million.
Hey, guess what? Guess what? If that's the case, he's coming off injury. Even if I get him on a 2-year prove-it deal, a 2-year or 1-year prove-it deal, I was just getting ready to give Randy what 13.
Yeah.
If I give him a 1-year, if I give him a 2-year, 26 million, 13 million guaranteed prove-it deal. If he comes and plays and balls out, great. If I turn around the next year, I want to get rid of him, that's fine. But I still got to have the mindset of drafting another guy.
Absolutely.
I got to go draft. But I've got Chauncey Golston on my roster right now, and I could probably go get Dorrance Armstrong for a little bit less, but I solidify my defensive end room if I go to get Zadarius Smith.
Absolutely. I 100% understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Dorrance Armstrong is great. You know, Dorrance Armstrong's cool, but Dorrance Armstrong ain't.
Yeah, say that. Yeah, never put great and Dorrance Armstrong in the same breath. Dorrance Armstrong is solid. Yeah, Dorrance Armstrong cool. He's good.
Had a good game last year. He had like one or two good games last year.
He's a solid special teams guy. Yeah. Great guy to have in your locker room. That's fine. But nothing about
in 1 or 2 games and have him come in and call some good habits.
He's a depth guy. He's a special teams core special teams guy and a depth guy. That's great. I don't have to spend a lot of money on him. But if I'm gonna roll out my 2022 defensive roster, if I got Zadarius Smith on one end and I got Demarcus Lawrence on one end, and if I've got Micah Parsons and either Miles Jack or Bobby Wagner, my defense is improved greatly going into the draft. I have covered my bases in the draft with a Jaron Kearse and a Malik Hooker in my secondary. My defense is better.
Yes.
Is better even with the loss of Randy Gregory, even with that happening. And my bases are covered when I decide what I want to do inside the draft when I come to my draft picks at 24 or things of that nature.
I think that you allow yourself to pick the best player available if you fill all of those holes. That's what this team likes to do. I think that, of course, if they sold up Randy Gregory, they wouldn't have had that need at the opposite side.
Yeah, you right, absolutely, without question.
So they're going to sign a guy because they don't like coming into draft day with a need.
Right.
That's just not how this team operates. So I think that, once they do bring in a guy, whoever it may be, whether it ends up being Von Miller or, your guys, Darius Smith, I think that best player available at 24 is going to end up being the move. So, whether that ends up being the guy like Nakobe Dean or like Kenyon Green, whatever it may be, which, I'm still working through this draft list because I while it may not be that many stars this year, you got a lot of complimentary guys in this year.
I think you got a lot of pieces, a lot of core pieces in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
I think what we did this year, what we didn't do last year, I think we got our heart broke last year. I think we got too emotionally attached in the draft.
Oh, no. The draft worked out very well, in my opinion, last year. I was very high on Jabril Cox, very high on Kelvin Joseph.
Okay. We were high. We love Kelvin.
Well, for me.
Listen. Let's go back to it. We thought, and we were to the point, we need to solidify left tackle. And if everybody wants to go back and look at the videos, I wanted Rashawn Slater and no one else. And I stood on that wall, and when he sat there and he was available, hey. And we've apologized this over and over. Nobody knew that Michael was going to be who Michael was.
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Yeah.
So we had to fall in love with that. But everything else between Kelvin Joseph, between everybody they ended up getting. Jabril Cox we did sign off of Jabril Cox in the 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
We also like
the draft last year. Absolutely.
Yeah, we also like the Cooper kid that's in the that's in Denver right now that's going to be matched up with Randy Gregory. So I think that's going to be a very formidable day. So they're going to be really decent on defense. I think they're going to be tough. But there's some things around this draft, man, that I like. There's some guys we're gonna have to kind of talk offline on that I'm kind of high on, wide receiver wise and things of that nature. So that's another video. That's another time.
A lot of receivers. Oh, yeah. Very deep.
Yeah, very, very, very deep. It's a couple of guys I'm looking at. I'm really, really excited about. But at the end of the day, man, the pre-tampering, we could talk to you period has brought us some of the things that we definitely need. We got clarity. We freed up money more than anything.
Tons of it.
A lot of money that we didn't think we could free up, which continues to make us a player. And I think what we have grown accustomed to is letting it all settle out. The first week of free agency, we got to let us see who's going to overpay, who's going to do certain things. Because, see, there was no doubt, there was no way in my mind that I thought that Connor Williams would get a contract before free agency started. Connor Williams didn't even get on the market for a whole minute in free agency, and he got him a whole other contract.
I'm happy for him. Let him go.
I'll let that man get his bread. Let him get his money. I never thought.
Leave his key on the nightstand, man. Leave his key on the nightstand. Bro.
The money that Cedric Wilson got, was a little bit out of my price range.
Yeah, I'm sad to see it happen. Now, for what it's worth, $7 million, is that a lot for a receiver nowadays? You got to ask yourself, how much is $7 million really?
For your third wide receiver?
Cedric Wilson averaging like $7.5 million a year.
For your third wide receiver, I think that's a lot. I think that's a lot with this draft that's coming open, with all the guys who are out there. And we'll probably have to go through this list. And that's another show for us to kick it on. But I think you bring in a Malik Turner, bring him back and sign him. Let him play. You already got the special team ace, Noah Brown. He's already coming back. You already got him signed to come back. So your receiver room is in need of you've got the money now to sign another wide receiver and draft another wide receiver. My problem is I probably want to draft an injured guy. And we hate drafting injured guys. But I want to draft an injured guy this year. I want to draft an injured guy. There's a couple. Listen, man, there's 2 injured guys right now. If I can get them in the 4th round, I'm happy like a pig in slop going from here forward. If Michi's sitting there in the 3rd or 4th round, or Williamson out of Alabama sitting there in the 3rd or 4th round, bruh, I can stash them for a year. Because I know both of them guys have worked inside a pro-style system, and they know about hard work. It's not a good trend on Alabama wide receivers right now when they get free time on their hands, aka Calvin Ridley, aka my man that was out with the Raiders, who's out the league now. But I'm looking at that. But as of right now, before the official kickoff of free agency, I'm excited about what the Dallas Cowboys have done. Yeah. But it's still a lot of pressure on a lot of different people inside there. We talked about that before.
Yes, sir. So we ain't want to take up too much more of y'all time, man. I think we've done a lot. If you haven't already, like this video, that'll get us in more people's faces. Subscribe to the channel if you're not. Shame on you if you're not. Send this video to your friends. Leave a comment. Let them know whether you think that Chris is wily and whether you like my waves. And to us on Twitter at Franklin.
No doubt, man. No, right. Yo, man, this is what we do, man, because we love the game, man. We love the Dallas Cowboys. We also love football. So like Brandon said, man, like, subscribe, share, comment. We definitely get back at you, man. Listen, man, I'm Set It Off Chris, and that's my main man, Brandon, man, and we are Franklin Football.
Peace.
Peace.